Hello everyone, welcome to my channel again. Today we are indoor, as you can see. It's raining outside, it's very dark and rainy. Nonetheless, we are going to try and go out when I finish this video to try and see if we can get some shots. For a while now I have had this idea of talking about camera gear in a very specific way, which is with regards to the idea that Sony cameras are boring. Basically, I just want to consider this notion that Sony cameras may be boring, and but also then delve a little bit into the whole idea of what a camera is supposed to do for us. In my view, there are two types of cameras, and therefore two types of photographers when it comes to gear, preference. Now, obviously, the whole idea as to whether Sony cameras are boring is really a debate that shouldn't take place in the first place, because whether anything is boring is a matter of opinion, is a matter of taste. We all have different opinions when it comes to anything really, not just camera gear. In order to properly analyze this subject, I'm going to go into my past and sort of revisit what has been my behavior when it comes to cameras in the last, since I started shooting with a camera, and that's 2018. In 2018 I bought a Canon DSLR, a Canon 200D DSLR, and I started learning the whole thing with the exposure triangle and all the other technical bits relating to photography. Now, having said that, since then I have gone into different states of mind. Basically, I would oscillate and sway between these two mind frames. One mind frame is the mind frame that a camera has a job, has a further job to taking pictures, and that job is to inspire you. The job is to make you feel good about yourself, to make you feel good about your shooting process, and ultimately give you some sort of intuition which translates into some sort of ideas for shooting, something like that. So, we work with a camera, and the fact that we like our camera either aesthetically or by the fact that it feels good in the hands, or we like the notion that other people may like it too. So we like to think that other people may think that we are, we look cool, that we may know what we're talking about because we own a certain type of camera, we carry around a certain type of camera. So when I would be in this mind frame, which we could call the mind frame of the heavy lifting camera, the heavy lifting camera, as in, we don't just think that the camera should take great pictures, we also think that the camera should inspire us. So we give the camera the power and the role to inspire us as photographers. So when I have been in that mind frame, I have owned cameras like Fuji X-T2. So when I was in this mind frame, I really felt that I needed to have a camera that made me feel good, a camera that inspired me. And the Fuji X-T2, with all its limitations and its technical quirks and I would say technical deficiencies, gave me that. So for a while I felt really good. Then at some point I started feeling less and less good, and that's because I started comparing some of the files with some of the files from cameras that friends of mine owned, like Sony, some of the new Canon EOS R, and so I decided to change, because I decided that the Fuji image quality was okay for what I was doing, but the image quality let me down a little bit. So I decided that I didn't care about the way that the camera made me feel, that I didn't care about how the camera looked. Now I wanted a camera that was technically efficient. I wanted a camera that was as close to perfection as possible when it comes to image quality. And I went into full frame. I'm going to spare you all the passages and all the cameras that I went through, just because it's boring. Many of you will have already clicked out of this video, I'm sure. Those of you who haven't, thank you for staying with me, and please stay with me, because I'm going somewhere with this. You should trust me. The other category is the category of what we will call the neutral cameras. The cameras that don't need to do other jobs other than taking good pictures and doing it well. So I think that Sony cameras can be said to belong to this second category, because they're really efficient, they're really effective, they're technically very proficient. I've heard some photographers say they get out of the way. We don't tend to give Sony cameras the job of keeping us happy aesthetically, of like making us think that we need them, from reasons other than being fantastic tools. So I guess in this video I want to ask you, which category do you belong in? Are you a heavy lifting camera holder, or are you a neutral camera holder? And which of the two philosophies, if you will, do you feel that are more conducive to the pictures? And yeah, basically, what are your thoughts on that? When it comes to me, of course, I like to maintain myself far away from drawing conclusions on the way that other people should think or should feel. Everybody should do what they want, and obviously this is not a video that criticizes owning new gear or wanting to get new gear, because everybody likes new gear. It makes us feel good, it feels nice. For myself, what I value now is actually technical proficiency, is actually image quality, the capacity to take a shot, being able not to miss a shot because of autofocus, to execute on that shot as quickly as possible without having to think too much. And so the Sony cameras do that for me. So this is one of the reasons that I went to Sony cameras, because I wanted good autofocus. Traditionally, I have also always been a sucker for aesthetics. So, having a camera that to me looks good was important. I'll be honest, for some reason, I don't know why, but I like the way that Sony cameras look. I'll probably be the only one on the internet to say or think that, but I do like the way that Sony cameras look. They are boxy, but what's wrong with boxy? Boxy, you can depend. Boxy is dependable. You can depend on boxy, and it's got that nice Sony logo on it. But more than anything, what inspires me is the thought that I know that I have in my hands a tool that is gonna help me produce a very good file. At the end of the day, they are tools, and these are digital tools. These are digital cameras. So the end product is a file. If you own a camera that really doesn't inspire you at all and doesn't make you feel like wanting to go out, that's another message that I've heard on YouTube many times. I need a camera that makes me want to go out and shoot. I have seen that the more I have been able to become excited with the scene in front of the camera, with the scene in front of me, since I started working with the scene more, so by putting myself in different places, by waiting for a good light, the more excited I could get with these, the less excited I needed to be from the camera. So the less of a job, the less of a role I gave to the camera. So yeah, just to try and conclude, the way that I felt at the beginning, I would not even consider owning a Sony camera, because I could not bear the idea of owning a boring piece of gear. I couldn't bear the idea of owning an uninspiring camera. But then once I have started feeling excited just about going out and holding a camera, any camera around my neck, and understanding that actually what was important for me was having a tool that helped me capture this scene in front of me, that the scene itself excited me before anything, then that opened up the possibility for me to own a Sony camera. And then at that point, what became really, really important was the knowledge that I had a good piece of gear that was efficient. So yeah, so that's my long spiel about camera gear and about heavy lifting cameras and neutral cameras. So which side of the fence are you, or do you feel that there should be more categories? Please let me know. And now, before closing this video, let's see if we have got any acceptable pictures today. So we are gonna go out and we are gonna try and take a few shots. to shoot with a 55mm today. I decided to try and give myself a bit of a, well, I don't want to say a challenge, but a bit of a change, because I've been shooting with a 40mm for the last, I don't know how many months, but I've actually read wonderful reviews of the little 55mm Zeiss f1.8, and yeah, I just think I'm not using it enough. I should force myself to using it a bit more. So that's what I'm going to try today. This little village is called Farningham in Kent. It might not be the right time to use the 55 because it might be a little bit too tight, but yeah, we'll see. So there's possibly a nice scene there, a nice picture to be taken there, but I'm just waiting for the right light. It's basically, I love the colors of the foliage of that tree, and I like the fence as well, but I just don't like the light. I'm just waiting for a bit of light, actually. So I just had a thought, and the thought was, what if all that matters is being right here, right now? But I actually don't want to try and make this more philosophical or more intellectual than it needs to be. It's just a thought that came to me, and the thought is, but yeah, what if all that matters is just to be here and now? It's just to be here at this very moment, and there's nothing more important than this. So what if what really matters is to live this moment more, you know, as intensely and as passionately as I can. I yesterday I was rewatching Dead Poets Society, that wonderful film with Robin Williams, and yeah, you know, the importance of carpe diem, and live intensely and live passionately and making moments count, which doesn't mean bringing every moment to a state of perfection and to a state of like beauty. It doesn't mean always being happy, but it means understanding what this moment is about and allowing it to happen as it should happen, the more freely, without forcing it. I've had a bit of a walk, and I took a few pictures that maybe were alright, but I don't know that I've got even, you know, one single portfolio picture in ever, actually, in the last few years, let alone today. And yeah, I just have to get better at capturing the extraordinary within the ordinary, because that's another definition of photography for me. Thanks for sticking with me and watching this video until the end. Thanks for accompanying me in this adventure one more time. Today we were around Farningham in Kent, a very nice village. Thanks for supporting this channel. If you like these videos, please put a like down and subscribe, or consider subscribing anyway. It would be fantastic if I could grow this channel a bit more. But yeah, so otherwise, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you soon in the next video.